Revolution, China experienced a major economic and educational decline, and millions of people were subjected to persecution of political association based on political categories. Cultural evolution, formerly known as the Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution, was a socio-political movement in the People Republic of China launched by Mao Zedong in 1966 and lasting until his death in 1976. China is also the world's most popular country with a population exceeding of 1.5 billion. UNESCO World Heritage Sites: Imperial Palace of the Ming and Seng dynasties, including the Forbidden City and Mukden Palace. And the second one is the Great Wall, China. The first three emperors of the Seng dynasties from 1644 to 1925. In 2004, it was included in the UNESCO World Heritage List as an extension of the Imperial Palace of the Ming and Seng dynasties or Forbidden City in Beijing. And the Great Wall of China was built over centuries by China's emperors to protect their territory. First destination will be the Beijing and the Shanghai. Beijing is alternatively romanized as Peking. It is the most popular capital city in the world and second largest city in China after Shanghai. Shanghai, it is a popular tourist destination renowned for its historical landmarks. It is the country's biggest city and one of the world's major centers for finance, business, and economics research, and etc. Next will be the potential destination of China, the Houtou one. Japan, city of the God Temple and Yu Garden. The village was once home to more than 2,000 fishermen, but it was abandoned in early 90s due to problems with education and food delivery, which makes the building completely covered with the plants. Next will be the social, economic, and environmental issue. Social issue: employment shortage due to the runaway growth of the economy, discrimination in across the areas such as public health, education, pension, and unequal opportunities for Chinese people. Increase in urban income, employment, unpaid wage, and the police misconduct are source of grievance corruption. Economic issue: economic growth may be higher than what is reported by official statistics, and their environmental issues will be the air pollution, water problems, soil problems, habitat destructions, and biodiversity loss, and mega project. Next will be Japan. Japan is the world's 11th biggest country as well as one of the most heavily populated and urbanized. Japan is famous for onsen hot springs and kabuki baths, as well as all-night neon lit dance parties, animes, and sushi boats restaurants, all of which are significantly more contemporary. Second will be the UNESCO World Heritage in Japan. First is the historic monuments of ancient Kyoto, then the second one is Kawara Island. Historic monuments of ancient Kyoto. In 1994, the historic monuments of ancient Kyoto were added to a World Heritage List. It is made up of 17 components situated in the cities of Kyoto, Uji, and Utsu. Between the 8th and 17th century, the historic monuments of ancient Kyoto served as the center for the development of wooden buildings with religious elements as well as the growth of Japanese gardens. Then the Osagawara Islands. The Sugawara Islands, sometimes known as the Bonin Islands in English, are a group of volcanic islands in the Pacific Ocean. By the year 2011, it was then added by UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The Osagawara Islands have a subtropical climate with mild temperature all year. Visitors are drawn to the islands because of their isolation, casual friendliness, magnificent beaches, coral reefs, and jungle-covered highlands. Next will be the tourist destination in Japan, Tokyo and Osaka. Tokyo is the Tokyo Skytree and Shibuya Crossing, and the two of the city's most famous monuments. It is well known as its sakura-lined streets, shrine and temples, otaku culture and delicious cuisine, and a world-class transportation. Osaka is the most renowned for its delicious casual meals and friendly residents. It's doubtly Japan's street food capital, famed for food like takoyaki or okonomiyaki. Osaka is also known for its outgoing, fun-loving residents who make dining and drinking in the city an enjoyable experience. Next will be the potential tourist destination in Japan, Aokigahara Forest, a lovely, deep woodland in the shadow of Mount Fuji with a terrible reputation. Aokigahara is a forest located in the foothills of Mount Fuji in the Yamanashi Prefecture before obtaining the name of Suicide Forest. This mysterious place was called Jikai, meaning the Sea of Trees. Next will be the social, economic, and environmental issue in Japan. The social issue is one of the world's highest suicide rates, sex trafficking, and gender inequality. And the economic issue is greater levels of public debt. Debt levels have continued to climb in response to national crisis. And their environmental issue will be the waste management, climate change, nuclear power, fishers and whaling, urban planning, electronic waste management, and forests, highly vulnerable to earthquake, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions.
Next is Taiwan. Taiwan is well known for its mouth-watering street cuisine, Taipei 101, Pingsai Sky Lantern Festival, Shilin Night Market, pineapple pastries, and the Pingsai Sky Market. Taiwan is renowned for its welcome residents, as well as for being a multicultural, accepting, and open-minded city. Taiwan's UNESCO World Heritage Site is Yangmingshan. And we have the tourist destination, the National Palace Museum. The museum is home to hundreds of thousands of historical relics that makes up the world's most comprehensive and precious collection of ancient Chinese artifacts. And we have the potential tourist destination, which is Shinao Elephant Trunk Rock. It is located on the north coast of Taiwan, and it is the erosion of the rock created this impressive rock formation and took the name Elephant Trunk Rock in resemblance to the animal. Next is their social, economic, and environmental issues. First, their social issues. Social issues in Taiwan. In recent years, many serious social issues keep happening constantly in Taiwan, causing a lot of people depressing and frustrating. Next is their economic issues. Taiwan's economy has been showing signs of weakness since September 2022, when global semiconductor demand slumped. That was mostly due to high inflation and therefore weaker demand for electronic goods in the US and Europe. Demand from China, which is also a big consumer, and it also suffered due to COVID-19 measures. The last one is their environmental issues. Industrial, agricultural, and municipal pollution has done enormous damage to riparian ecosystem in Taiwan, as in other countries that have experienced a rapid industrialization. One downside of development has been the degradation of its rivers.
South Korea. South Korea is famous for K-pop, delicious Korean food, Asian temples, and dynamic festival. South Korea is an Eastern Asia country. It is located on the Korean Peninsula with the Yellow Sea on the west and the Sea of the Japan on the east. UNESCO World Heritage Site, Jongmyo Shrine. Jongmyo is a royal ancestor shrine of the Joseon dynasty and is in Jongno-go, Central Seoul. Its two main buildings, Jongjeon Hall and Yongmyeon Hall, exhibit the unique architectural style of 16th century Korea and still host seasonal memorial rites commemorating the lives and achievements of the royal ancestor of Joseon. Tourist destination Jungbokgung. Jungbokgung is a place where you can see Korea culture and beautiful scenery located in Seoul, South Korea. It is a very beautiful place where you can enjoy Korea's place, soldiers, and culture and take pretty pictures. The palace has a museum, art department, and tours are available. Potential tourist destination Jeju Island. Jeju Island is province Jeju Island. Potential tourist destination Jeju Island. Jeju Island in the province of Gyeongsangnam-do is among those underrated places in South Korea that's very different from metropolitan Seoul. Social, economic, and environmental issue. So first is the social issue, women and girls' rights. Discrimination against women and girls is widespread in the South Korea. The gender pay gap at 31% is the widest among countries that belong to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. South Korea has been constantly ranked by the Economist of having the worst working environment for women among the 20 advanced economies it's analyzed. Next is sexual orientation and gender identity. The LGBT rights movement in the South Korea is growing, but continues to face the hostility and severe discrimination, especially in the armed force. In October, a South Korea court ruled that the military unlawfully discriminated against Byun Hae-soo, the country's first openly transgender soldier, when it discharged her after she underwent gender-affirming surgery in 2019. The court ordered her reinstatement, but Byun died by suicide in March. The Constitutional Court is also currently reviewing the 1962 Military Criminal Act, which punished sexual acts between soldiers with up to 2 years in prison under disgraceful conduct clauses regardless of consent. Next is freedom of expression. Although South Korea has a relatively free press and lively civil society, the South Korea government continues to use draconian criminal defamation laws and sweeping intelligence and national security laws to restrict speech. Implementation of these laws creates a chilling effect that limits critical scrutiny of the government as well as corporations. Next is economic issue, trade deficit. The latest official data of South Korea shows that the trade deficit reached $7 billion in the November, and the cumulative trade deficit has reached 42.6 billion, which the first deficit in the April 22. This is the economic issue, the trade deficit. Environmental issues, air pollution. According to the Environmental Performance Index 2016, South Korea ranked 173rd out of 180 countries in terms of air quality. More than 50% of the population of South Korea is exposed to dangerous levels of fine dust. In March 2019, after record high content ratios of PM 2.5 particles were observed exposing residents to respiratory and cardiovascular illness, the South Korea government passed emergency legislation in an attempt to reduce the ongoing pollution. Next is global climate change. Climate change in Korea has led to extreme weather events in South Korea that affect social, economy, industry, culture, and many other sectors. South Korea is experiencing change in climate parameters. Such parameters include annual temperature, rainfall amounts, and precipitation. The animal welfare rights. South Korea's animal welfare laws are rigged by international standards, and ethical vegetarianism and veganism appear to the rare. There is a handful of animal welfare and rights organizations working in South Korea, which appear to focus largely on the welfare of companion animals and the dog meat trade. Mongolia. Mongolia boasts a wide range of birds, fish, and mammals, but is probably best known for the Siberian ibex, snow leopard, gobi bear, wild Bactrian camel, and Berezovsky Fourth, UNESCO World Heritage Site Mongolian Althea Petroglyphic Complex, composed of ancient rock carvings and funeral monuments that are as old as 12,000 BC and provide complete documentation of the interaction between prehistoric North Asians and their environment. The Mongol Atlaya Rock Art Complex is one of the largest Asian art galleries not only in the Mongolia but also in the world. Next is a tourist destination, Lake Hovsgol. It filters down from the Russian border in a streak of deep blue, its grassy banks rising the falling peppered with the occasional wine-blasted pine trees and sometimes giving way to pebble coves where locals relax in the summer.
So, potential tourist attractions of Mongolia is Akurig or the Great Tabu. It is a 240 square kilometer or 900 square miles area in the Khanty Aymag province of Mongolia, believed by some to be the locations of Genghis Khan grave, as well often called the Forbidden Zone by outsiders. It is a forbidden zone to the tourists because Mongolians respect the place where they believe Genghis Khan died. Genghis Khan is known as terrible tales of conquest, destructions, and bloodshed during his era. However, nowadays, he's seen as a national hero and founding father of Mongolia. So the social, economic, and environmental issues of Mongolia are in social issues are abuse of prisoners by police, uneven law enforcement, poor prison conditions, lack of media independence, and for economic issues, we have poverty, global drop in prices of coal and copper, drop in foreign direct investment of 54% last year due to the conflicts over the mining agreements and licensing and insecurity of investors over the stability of the regulatory framework. And for the environmental issues of Mongolia, we have desertifications, inadequate water supplies, and air and water pollutions. So, North Korea. For decades, North Korea has been one of the world's most secretive society. It is one of the few countries still under nominally communist rule, and it is located in East Asia. It is constitute the northern half of the Korean peninsula and shares borders with China and Russia to the north at the Yalu and Amnuk and Tomen River, and South Korea demilitarized zone. So UNESCO World Heritage Sites of North Korea. So the first is the complex of Kuguryo tombs in 2004. So the properties include several group and individuals tombs, totaling about 30 individuals tombs from the later period of the Koguryo Kingdom, one of the strongest kingdom in nowadays northeast China and half of the Korean peninsula between the 3rd century BC to the 7th century AD. So the tombs, many with beautiful walls paintings, and offer a unique testimony to a daily life of this period. So the second is the historic monuments and sites in Kaesong in 2013. So that's the sites testify to the transitions from Buddhism to Neo-Confucianism in East Asia and to the assimilations of the culture, spiritual, and political values of the states that exerted prior to the Korean unifications under the Koryo dynasty. So, tourist destinations of North Korea. It's Pyongyang Metro, one of the famous tourist attractions in North Korea and the world's deepest subway system, with a track approximately of 110 meters or 360 feet deep underground. This may be because of the fact that the Pyongyang metro also serves as a bomb shelter. So potential tourist destinations of North Korea. So we have Myeongdong Fan Fair. So this abandoned looking amusement park is a frightening open for business. So the social, economic, and environmental issues of North Korea are so social issues are harmful or arbitrary killings by the government, torture and cruel, inhuman and degrading treatment and punishment by government authorities, harsh and life-threatening prison conditions, including in political prison camp, no judicial independence, and lastly, serious restrictions on free expressions. So the economic issues of North Korea are large-scale military spending and development of its ballistic missiles and nuclear program. Also shortage of foreign exchange and large foreign debt or etc. Environmental issues of North Korea is flood, drought, storms, and other extreme weather, also pollutions and deforestations.